So is anyone going to be able to stop this Matanza? Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here to give you the Lucha Underground Season 2, Episode 11. This one goes to 11. Bird of War. I almost said Bird of Prey. Number 11, Bird of War. This, just when you think you're gonna hit one of these episodes where you're like, oh, okay, we're due for an episode where there isn't gonna be, quite as much action or drama or whatever. On another golden episode, I go in with these with the anticipation that it's gonna be good, and they just keep stacking the deck. It's unfreaking believable. Let's get into it. Vampiro is in the locker room, and he's looking very deep in thought. And then we see he's sitting there holding a little bottle of pills, and it's those pills he got in the first episode when they released them. Those what do you call it? Antipsychotic ones, the very strong ones. He's not psychotic. No, he's a vampire. Dario Cueto confronts him, and he's like, oh, you're. And he's so cocky, and oh my god, I love Cueto. He's like the coolest bad guy heel boss ever. I mean, I could go on forever about it, but no, we'll keep going with this. But this confrontation is tense because Vampiro or Ian, whatever, he's trying to control this rage, and basically Vampiro is completely taken over Ian, and he's staring at this pill bottle like, oh, I just want to wring your damn neck. And so he's holding back, and by the end of the segment, he's visibly shaking, and, oh, man. And Cueto's basically like, don't make the same mistake Pentagon made. And if you know what's, I know I'm out of order on this, but, he's like, if you know what's good for you, you're not going to lay your hands on me, like Pentagon Jr. did, And he's, yeah, it's in some parts of this, he's genuine. He tells him he's very important to the temple, but then in the next breath, and he's like, just don't be stupid like you're, like Pentagon, and he's like, oh man. And so, yeah, like I said, by the end, he's shaking, and then he's taking his pill just so he can get through the next, episode, so he can go out and do his job on commentary. Oh, man. And what was really cool is Krista Joseph, one of the writers, actually put this segment out on social media as a little tease for this episode. And I even tweeted him back. I was like, man, this is gold. This is... We're so lucky, And it's just crazy awesome. Then we get into the next segment where Joey Ryan and Officer Cortez, they're in Captain Vasquez's office again. And Joey's sitting there with his frickin' sucker, and Cortez just has has this like sunken look on his face, like, ah, God, I hate this guy. You know, do I have to work with him? Really? It's hilarious. You know, you go from such an intense segment, and I watched it like 5 times in a row because that's how much I loved it. I was like, oh my God, and the music and end of it. Then you go into this, and it's like, it's comedy. I mean, it's still drama, but it's comedy because you know what kind of character Joey Ryan is. He's just Ryan. Oh my God. He really is. And this other guy, Castro, is good too. I mean, you know, last season they were all just hated because of, you know, who they were. And now these guys are all actually, you know, developing characters throughout this whole story. And it's so cool. Even Cisco is going to get some time in here relatively soon. I smell it coming. We had that scene in the trailer where he's in the jumpsuit, you know, the orange suit in jail. So you know that's coming. And they she's happy that Cueto has come back to the temple. And they're like, she's like congratulating them, even though they didn't even do anything. He came back on his own. So she's like, well, then do whatever you need to do to bring him down. Tag team him. And Joey's like, well, it's funny you say that because I actually got to talk to Cueto, and he put us in the Trios tournament that starts tonight. And guess who he teamed with? The Crew. It gets better and better. So, we get out to our next segment. We go to the ring. Excuse me. Vampiro and Stryker announce Matanza versus Phoenix for the main event in Phoenix's rematch for the Lucha Underground Championship. It's like, it's so awesome that Matanza, like, ever since he won the title, is like every episode defending it. It's like, you know, Cueto's just sick. He loves violence, so he just keeps feeding people to him because he knows he's going to destroy them. Last week was Pentagon, which was devastating, and this week is Phoenix, and it's like, you know, we love Phoenix because we know how good he is. But man, you know, we also know how treacherous a guy in the ring like Matanza is. So we have that to look forward to, or cover our eyes, you know, when that comes. Whichever you want to do. I watched, yeah. So our first match, we get 1/3 of the Trios champs. We got Ivelisse versus Cobra Moon. And they make a point to say that Cobra Moon is undefeated up until this point. And she also beat them by submission, which is unique, you know. So, and you know, this isn't for a title or anything, but she brings out the title, with, you know, showing it off. It's awesome. So, for Ivelisse. And Cobra Moon's been on a roll. So, you know, I went into this like, hey, it's anybody's game. You know, Cobra Moon's new to the temple, but Ivelisse is a badass bitch. But, you know, as soon as Cobra Moon gets in the ring, oh man, she's so, you know, she slithers in there. It's like, she's awesome. And these two put out a fun but quick match. Not knocking it, you know. I just, you know, I'd wish all these were longer, but it's only an hour or so. But you know, it's still good. Ivelisse beats her with a sunset flip powerbomb, and we finally get a background story next on Killshot. He's I gotta go back and I gotta look at all the details of this. It was actually a loaded little segment about how he was a sniper in the military, and I know I'm gonna leave out some important parts here, and I apologize. I only watched it once. I usually watch the episode like a couple times, but I just watched The Walking Dead season finale just before I'm doing this, so I'm like, wrong time to do this, right? So I'm fried from that as well. Yeah, Killshot was a sniper in this elite team. His team got captured, and he was a hostage for like 13 months or something like that, I think he said. And he doesn't even know if any of his team is still alive. But he escaped, and they show, that's where we get from the trailer where he's like, taking out people left and right. He's using, MMA moves on them, but he's shooting them at the same time, to get out of the camp and whatever. Just a badass segment. The main thing I got out of this is that he fights to forget. He's like, him fighting in the temple is like therapeutic for him, in a sense. I can't wait to see where this goes next. So yeah, since his debut last season with when he was in the trios team with the Mac and not Hernandez, Big Rick. I almost forgot what his name was. Ezekiel Jackson. Just this guy just keeps on impressing me, and we finally get that cool background story that we saw like glimpses of in the trailer for this season, where he was dressed in military, but kicking ass and all that stuff. So great segment. Then we get Famous B handing out a card to Masquerade of Sagrada, and then he's walking through the rest of the locker room, and he almost felt like he was going to give his card out to someone else, but then he didn't, because it jumped into a segment with the Mac telling Sexy Star that that he was put into a trios tournament with Marty the Moth and Mariposa, which just shows how sick and crazy and demented Dario Cueto is. He gets off on this tension. It's similar to last year when he put Son of Havoc, Ivelisse, and Angelico all together in the same team for the trios tournament, and they're all like, "No, I'm not doing this," And this imploded quickly, but I'm skipping ahead. But he asks Sexy Star to be out there with him for moral support, and she's like, "No, I'm not doing it." And she keeps working out because that's her way of trying to cope and deal with what happened to her when she was hostage at the hands of Marty the Moth and Mariposa. Then we get the first round of the trios tournament with Marty the Moth, Mariposa, and the Mac. And the look on Mac's face is like, "Oh my God, do I have to do this?" And then Joey Ryan is out there with the crew, and Joey just, he's a star out there. It's hilarious. And the crew's like, the animosity. They mentioned this. The animosity on the crew's face. Excuse me. The animosity on the crew's face. And it was so visible. And we watching it knew why, but the audience didn't know why. That's the beauty of it. It's like we know the background story, and everyone else is just watching a match. That's the funny part. Incredible match. The action in this, and the crew, probably the best match I've ever seen the crew in. I mean, they really kicked ass in this. Everybody, just a tremendous trios match. I would venture to say that this was as good as the match we saw pre-Mania at Dallas TakeOver with Alpha Male and The Revival. Almost forgot. Damn, I'm tired. Sorry. Yeah, just a lot of great. I've watched so much wrestling the last week, it's ridiculous. Between a 5-hour WrestleMania, Dallas TakeOver, NXT show, this, Monday Night Raw. I mean, I am so... I'm completely fried. I don't think I'm going to even watch SmackDown this week. I've watched so much wrestling the last week, it's ridiculous. Crazy. Tremendous match, great trios action, and Joey and the crew win. And the best part is the end when, Joey, they do the great finisher on, I apologize, I don't remember who they put the finisher on, but the crew's finisher is great. It's that combination code breaker, whatever else, and then, they, as soon as they got done, Joey swoops in and gets the pin, and he's all celebrating, like, yes, I did it, and they're looking at him like, really? We finished him off. it's so awesome. And then after all that, Marty and Mariposa attack the Mac. Well, Sexy Star ends up saving him out there and helping him, which is really great because it looks like she's really starting to get some of her, for lack of better words, cojones back. She's a woman, but never mind. So yeah, it looks like she's finally, getting all this out of her head. She's dealing with it. She's coping with it to the point where she's getting rid of her fear of facing him, which is great. Good for Sexy Star. So I'm sure this is far from over. We'll see these guys back in the ring together very soon. And then we get Azteca Jr. on the rooftop with Mysterio, and he's telling him, you need to fight for honor, not revenge, because Azteca Jr. wants revenge, because Dragon Azteca was killed. Well, they think he was killed by Matanza, but we know otherwise. But nonetheless, they want revenge for his death, and Mysterio tells them that they have a match in the Trios tournament next week. And Azteca Jr. is like, oh, well, who's our partner? And up walks Puma. I popped so hard for this. And Puma actually speaks for the first time. This last season, didn't say nothing. Beginning of this season, all he did was purr and growl, which is hilarious. And he's like, but he answers, who is it? He's like, it's me, or whatever. And so yeah, it's funny. He finally speaks. So who knows? Maybe we'll see a little more character development with Puma going forward the rest of the season. Then we get the headliner match for the episode for the Lucha Underground Championship. Matanza versus Phoenix. And yeah, he just destroys Phoenix. Almost unmasks him too. It almost looked for a minute like he was going to rip his mask right off. And Phoenix is just an absolute ragdoll mess by the end of this. And they also talked about a lot of translation. It was like a violent episode of Dora. We got a lot of Spanish translation. It was awesome. So I know, Jason, you're sick. Yeah, I Um, so found out that matanza means slaughter in Spanish. It's like, oh my god. Yeah, that's pretty appropriate. And I blame Dario Cueto. Seriously, your brother goes out there in the dirty clothes. Give him a freaking bath. Clean his clothes once in a while. I mean, he's probably just doing it for intimidation factor, that there's blood still on his clothes. But man, the guy must stink by now. You know, who wants to get in the ring with a big stinky guy? I don't know. But nonetheless, Phoenix is destroyed and beats him with the Wrath of the Gods, that spin around slam, whatever. That's just incredible finisher. Katrina and Mill come out of nowhere, or Katrina comes to the top of the stairs holding out her, stones, and Mill comes up from behind, and it's awkward because, when Cueto comes back, he gets a pop, and then 10 minutes later, after Matanza wins, he gets booed out of the building. Then Katrina comes back this time, and she gets cheered, even though she's like one of the biggest heels. So it's just hilarious how all of a sudden, Mill comes in, saves Phoenix, but he doesn't really save Phoenix. It's more attacking Matanza than saving Phoenix. Because Mil Muertes doesn't have any love for anybody, really. And the funny part about this is then Phoenix is in the ring. Mil Muertes is like following up the stairs, leaving the ring towards Katrina. And Katrina looks down at Phoenix. And it's like so awkward. Like insanely awkward. She has this look on her face like, you're welcome, and you can thank me later privately or something. Oh my god, so it's like she like Mil Muertes wanted Matanza, but Katrina wanted to save Phoenix. So it's like a double thing there. I don't know. I don't know. Jason, you're overthinking it. Yeah, but shit, that's fun. Trying to figure out Katrina is like ridiculous, So that's it for this one. Mill is, I don't know, babyface now? I don't know. Can you really cheer the guy of 1,000 deaths? Man. Hate this guy, you hate this guy, you hate this guy. Oh, we love him. He's saved Phoenix. And he's beaten the biggest, baddest guy in the building. So we are for sure going to see Mil Muertes versus Matanza somewhere between now and the end of the season. And there's 15 episodes to go. So somewhere in there, we've got to see it. Maybe. So that's it for this one. Incredible episode. Great character development. That's one nice thing about this. Is it's not just that you love these guys in the ring, like the whole Killshot thing. Such a talented guy. But now we understand why he's named Killshot and that whole background. So maybe they're gonna, keep this going. Maybe we'll learn more. Who knows? It's cool though. It's cool. It's stories in this are so good. They're not boring at all. So, hell, even famous B. Who's famous B going to give a card to next? He gave one to Joey Ryan. He gave one to Masquerita Sagrada. Who do you think he's going to give one to next? I don't know. So yeah, shout out to Famous B. You're doing an awesome job keeping us guessing like that. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching.